There are a growing number of unemployed teachers in the country. Build One SA has joined forces with the Unemployed Educators Movement of South Africa to try and get the government to address the situation. Now, the newly formed organisation says it will also advocate expanding programs to aid for underperforming pupils. To discuss this further, we're joined by Build One SA's Nobuntu Hlazo-Webster. Thank you very much for your time this morning. And it's quite a confusing, if you'll let me say so, situation that in a state where the basic education circumstances for so many young South Africans is so dire, you'd think there'd be no room for there to not be space for teachers to be part of the education system. What is the state of affairs at the moment?
Good morning, and thank you so much for having us to discuss this very important issue. The state of affairs this morning is that you're looking at Gauteng alone having over 20,000, close to 30,000 educators who are unemployed, qualified educators who are unemployed. Now, when you look at what that does for the pupil, for the learner that is in the classroom, you've got overcrowded classrooms where you have teachers that have up to 70 learners in a classroom, and that absolutely compromises. You've got a situation where there are qualified educators sitting at home, but at the same time, you've got a system where there is an undersupply of teachers and where teachers have too many learners to be able to provide a quality service or quality education to them. That really is the situation right now. There's a number of reasons why this is the case. One of them being that the intake process or the recruitment process of teachers, we're finding that there is corruption in the system. We're finding that there is bribery that's taking place. We're really finding that actually you have teachers that are in there that are unqualified, while the qualified teachers sit at home unemployed. And this compromises, obviously, not just the quality of education that learners are getting, but it compromises when you look at even the employment system now, the quality of learners that are coming out of the system.
No, absolutely. And I mean, it's a very dire situation that you have painted for us all. And it would appear from what you've just told us that the situation is quite deeply rooted. And when you think about solutions or how to start to resolve this issue, it's probably going to be a very difficult task given the deep nature of the corruption and the malfeasance that you've described in the recruitment process of teachers. So how do you even begin to start to tackle that?
So we've partnered with the Unemployed Educators Movement of South Africa. Now, they're currently really centered around Gauteng. And like I said to you, there's close to 30,000 unemployed educators just in Gauteng. We've got about 1,500 of those members that we're working with to start addressing the issue and supporting to try and address this issue. The first of this being the public awareness, making sure that there's an awareness in the public that this is a crisis that exists. Is one that I think sits at the center of what we're seeing as the output of the education system. So we're creating public awareness. We're working with them to create public awareness around, one, the corruption that is in the system, but two, even just the ratio of qualified educators to students. That's a really, really serious issue, and it's an indictment on the system and on our learners as well. You also have the abuse of This initiative is an initiative that's set up to employ young people, but you now have a situation where those same young people who are employed as educators' assistants are now being put in roles as educators, as that should be put aside or set aside for qualified educators. You're compromising the quality because you have people who are not qualified to do the job, who are in that critical position. So those are some of the issues that we're raising public awareness about. Conduct a third-party audit on this issue. You have to audit the number of qualified teachers in the system. You have to audit the number of vacant positions. Now, the Minister of Education has been quoted as saying that there's close to 24,000 vacant positions. We thirdly want to help these unemployed educators through our partnership with the National Unemployed Workers Union to be able to get other forms of employment in the meantime, because this is a big number and we're only talking about Gauteng. We want to work with these teachers to be able to find them some sort of other employment in the meantime, because when you think of close to 30,000 unemployed educators in one province, that really is something that contributes to the real unemployment crisis that we have in this country as well.